Internet, this weekend has sucked for me, if I'm being honest. I had to take my cat to the cat hospital once again, and it's getting really, really expensive. So I'm hoping whatever the problem is, it gets fixed. We've got some medicine. Hopefully, he doesn't get sick again because I'm not sure we can afford it. And I spent what little time this weekend not taking care of my cat, getting a massive sunburn, doing a family thing that I was told to go do. So it's it's been a weekend. Let's put it that way. Either way, last time we were doing this, we did Star Shot, Stunt Racer. Now we're doing Super Bowling 64. This is one of the few games on here I really don't know anything about, but I assume it's a bowling game, and I feel pretty confident in that assumption. I could be wrong. I could be. I don't see it being the problem, though. But either way, game note not found. No, I don't want to create a game note. Yes. I'm fine with not creating a game note. Although I will say, these little animated menu icons are adorable. He's practicing his dance moves. That's cute. Okay, player's choice. I'm not sure what that means. Golf? I thought this was bowling. Okay, I need to know what golf bowling is now. So, what is golf bowling exactly? Hero or Alpha? Let's place Alpha. She looks on the ball. That looks like a place you do target practice for Virtua Cop. Let's just use a normal lane. Actually, you know what? I guess we're committed. Fine. Okay. Did we need to split screen it if we got one character, is the question. Okay. 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 I didn't get to decide where the direction of my shot was going. Oh, I think that's what this is. It's like your starting point's the center of the lane, and you're just saying, I want to go in this general angle. The UI for this is a little bit weird. Okay, so yeah, this is the starting point. That's kind of where we want to go. Normally you'd see like a line with like an angle, but no, none of that. Which I think is actually making this a little bit less intuitive and straightforward. Now it looks like we kind of have a golf meter. Let's try this. So we want to get it as high up to the center as you can, and then to that yellow. For some reason... For some reason, that goes into first person, and when I angle the ball to the left, it still drifts to the right. I'm not really sure I get that, but alright. Let's try again. Whoop, and whoop. Come on, go to the left. To the left. I don't know if... Let's try some heavier ball and see what happens. I don't claim to be an expert in bowling. I'm just seeing that I'm not really having any luck getting anywhere I need to be. First-person camera is not very helpful. Nor is the split-screen camera. Is there any way to change that? No. There does not seem to be a way to turn that off. Which is not great. Okay, let's just try and... Hold on. We're going to get this as far to this side as possible. And we're going to see just how responsive that is. Okay, well, we did get in that gutter this time. Sport ball. I'm guessing the closer you get to that power line, the more immediately receptive it's going to be. Because now, for some reason, even though we aim to the left, we're going to the right. You know, I kind of like that Milo Astro lanes more than this. Like, that had power-ups, and you could be a robot. Wow, I am the worst at golf when it's not miniature and starring Mario. Okay, so let's... We're going to angle it slightly to the right and try and get as close there as we can. Notice that it's moving to the left. I don't seem to have any idea why that is. And my cat wants out already. You know, I let him out just before I did this. I figured, nope, he doesn't want out because he came back. And now he wants out again. Because cats. That's how cats is sometimes, I guess. Alright, let's try this again. Playing awkward golf bowling. What? What? Okay. Oh, okay, so that's spin. I have no idea what that is. Maybe that's like torque or something. Okay, so left to right here is spin. Although it seems like you can only spin it to one side, which is a little weird. And I'm not sure what that actually is. I guess it's forward or back spin, maybe? So let's do that. Full jam. See what happens. I'm gonna hit one of these pins. That's gonna be a victory in my book. Okay. So we're gonna want to tilt it slightly to the... Okay, it does not help that there's about a second delay between input when you do this. Okay, so let's try and do that. About there. Okay. Full power. Come on. I do not like this bowling game. And not just because I'm bad at it. Like, I'm willing to accept I'm bad at all sports games and everything always, except Gotcha Force. But I am not enjoying this one. I think I prefer Milo's Astrolanes to this. Again, you got power-ups, and power-ups is cool. Okay, so let's try to put a little bit of spin. Not too much. Not too much torque on it. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Dead center of the line. And it still drifts. I think that, like, your angle and your starting point are... They don't feel like they actually equate to what you end up with, you know? I'm not saying that just to make excuses. I genuinely feel like it's not really an accurate or coherent physics system. Okay, so let's just try and straight shot this. As straight shot as it's going to get, and we're going to the left. I hit a pin. Freaking good enough. That was not the best bowling game on the Wii. The physics and the GUI are just not good. Let's try something better. And indeed, the next game's going to be Mario 64. Now, this is clearly the North American version. I'm curious about something. If I may back out. Oh, right, because it only delineates PAL and USA. I know, and I actually own a copy of this. There's an NTSC-J upgraded version of Super Mario 64. And I was curious if it's on here, but it doesn't look like it is. We'll play some Mario 64. This is an actual good game. I don't think it's the best, like, 3D platformer on the N64. I think it inspired quite a lot of them, though. But there is an upgraded version of this that never got released in North America. But because it's Mario 64, it's actually not that hard to figure out what's going on. I think most people have played it, and if you haven't, it's a pretty straightforward game, even if it's in Japanese. But there's a Japanese version that is basically identical, except it's Rumble Pack compatible, which is very interesting that they, like, retroactively built a version that's compatible with a later accessory. They actually did this with a second game in Japan only, with Wave Race as well. And I don't have a copy of that. I kind of want to, just because I think it's a weird thing to get. And I don't think it's very expensive. Japanese N64 games tend to not be, last I checked. And I know that because my N64 is actually region-free modded, because it's a very easy mod to make, and Japanese games are just ridiculously cheap. Okay. So, I'm gonna say there's a bit of a weirdness with my controller. Just in, like, going around in circles. There's, like, a bit of a dead zone, sort of. but that's only when you'd use, like, super tight corners. But we'll be fine. There's our old pal, Lac-2. That's fine. Get out of the way, Lac-2. Also, how was there a camera in this direction if Lac-2 was pulling in front of us to give its side information? One of life's greatest mysteries, except not really. Alright, so Bowser's captured Princess Peach, like always. Go to Bob-omb Battlefield. I'm going to pretend I remember how to do this, because I've actually not played this game in forever. Even though I do own it, and I rented it a lot as a kid. I was more into the Zelda games than Mario, honestly. And to be fair, I was also significantly so, more interested in Banjo-Kazooie and also Rocket Robot, so, which I think are substantially better versions of this game, basically. Didn't say they're identical. That chain chomp scared me as a kid. Do I do the, that's not it. What's the... That's what I want to do. That, and I want to do the little slidey jump. Alright, so let's climb Spiral Mountain and go to the Witch Gruntilda's lair. And then we'll meet Mumbo Jumbo and get turned into a washing machine that one time. Wishy-washy Banjo. That's the cheat. I remember. I remember the cheat. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. I'm not sure. There was always one thing about this that kind of didn't sit right with me in the way it was structured as a 3D platformer. Like, the idea of making your platformer 3D was really conducive to making your worlds more open and giving you, like, a lot of way to get around the structure of the linearity of the 2D games. That's why I think something like Gex is a fundamental failure of a 3D platformer, because it actively gives you a linear path you have to go through. Whereas this kind of takes it away, except that there's also a little bit of... I gotta get around this guy, I know that. There's a little bit of an ignoring of that very design mentality, in the sense that you usually have to go through the level through, like, the initial conceit of what the area is, which in this case is fight King Bob-omb to stop the Bob-omb War or whatever, before you can actually open up the levels to do stuff like that, because there's usually cannons and other secrets that show up, but only after you do the initial thing. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I get the mentality behind it. You want the players to at least sort of get it once through, so that they understand the fundamentals of a level before you let them go completely on their own, but I kind of like just being able to be left to my own devices and explore stuff, you know? Now, I'm curious, because this is a flashcart thing, I can actually upload my own stuff to it, and there's plenty of, like, Mario hacks out there. I'm kind of halfway tempted to actually, like, put a couple on here. But I've also tested a few hacks, and it seems like, for the most part, hacks don't really work on here for some reason. There's something about the file structure that just... Oh, right, we're facing this guy. I said go, not don't go. Come on, Koopa the Quick. Now, Koopa the Quick cheats, because he's got cleats or something. He can go up a mountain in a way that you're not supposed to be able to go. Or at least Mario can't, not without, like, abusing the physics anyway, but it's fine. Whoop. Excuse me, Mr. Chain Chomp. Woo! I do love the movement in this game. Like, there's so many different ways you can speed yourself up and really control the physics and the environment just with your standard moveset. And it just feels good to play. Very nice and fluid movement system. And this was a launch title for the system. The fact that they nailed movement in a 3D space so early, that is mind-blowing to me. And they probably spent way too much time on the physics and the movement and stuff. But they absolutely nailed it with this game. Now, I don't think it's the best 3D Mario game. I'm a weirdo, and I will say it's Sunshine, because I like the key fundamental themes of Ascension and resource management with that game. But I get why people would say this is the greatest Mario game ever played. I don't agree. Not by a long shot. I tend to gravitate closer to like Paper Mario, but this very, very good game. And I'm happy to stick with this a little bit longer than that crappy bowling game. Maybe we'll do one of like each of the starting areas before we move on. I beat you, Koopa the Quick, and I'm not good at this. I'm massively out of practice. Woo! Mario 64. Very, very good game. And similar to Mario, or Super Mario on the Super Nintendo, you know, to start off a console with just such a strong opening move, it's very, very impressive what they did with this. Now this is going to take us to Whomp's Fortress, I believe. Yep. I do like that jumping into the painting effect. I remember it was a very old commercial. Like, I think it was a Nintendo promo video where they got, like, a bunch of kids to go to, like, some Nintendo headquarters to test this game out. And I remember to sort of explain the Mario jumping into paintings effect and how they got that, they just filmed a bunch of actors running into walls. Like, that is somehow something that translates to what this game actually does, which is not remotely true, of course. But I thought it was just a very silly, I'm gonna jump on you. Oh, right, you have to run around in circles on those guys. Okay. Here's one thing I never really understood, and I don't know how anyone figured this out, but you're supposed to hop into this cannon right here and fly right into that corner, and there's a star there. Now, the hitbox on that's incredibly weird, so if you actually fling yourself in any way at that, you can actually grab it without destroying the wall, but I cannot fathom how someone figured that out the first time. Like, okay, I get that guides might explain this to people, and, like, who told the people who made the guides? Like, I don't think Nintendo had a, like, built-in hint system for their website just yet. They probably still had game counselors, I imagine. But I just can't imagine someone just naturally thinking, okay, I'm gonna fling myself into a wall. If I miss, I die, and I'm gonna get rewarded for it. This guy just wants equality for his people. I kind of feel bad defeating this guy. Bonk. Ow. Also, you can clip through these guys. You can actually just stand in front of them and let them fall through you. It's a speedrunning strategy. This is commonly cited as Charles Martinet's first time as Mario. That is factually untrue. He was in a Mario computer game first. But this is the one he is often remembered for. And it started the legend of Charles Martinet as Mario. Which he still does today. In fact, he plays most people in Mario aside from Princess Peach. He kind of is a one-man band for the male cast of Mario. Last I checked. And just in general, he does a great job. So then continue. No, I want to do the ice level. Actually, I hate the ice level. I don't want to do the ice level. But we'll do the ice level, and we're going to do the one level I actually want to play. And then we'll move on. So now we go to the ice level. I do kind of appreciate that every level has like 8 to 10 goals, you know, if you include like find the hidden thing and collect all the things. But I just appreciate that every level has such a wide variety of things you can do in it. Again, you're usually committed to doing the first goal before the entire game opens up and lets you actually explore it. But I do appreciate that. It does give you some options. There we go. I want to fling myself forward. Okay. Like, okay, there's a secret here, but there's a bunch of coins leading straight to it, so it's pretty easy to see where this is coming from. But why would you ever shoot yourself out of a cannon into a random nondescript corner that if you miss, you're definitely gonna die? Like, that I just cannot understand why someone would ever logically think to do that, you know? And this isn't really like Rocket, where you get like a kind of interesting riddle to explain what you have to do with some noodling. Instead, they give you like a star description of, you know, one line right there, and that's about all you get. And just flinging yourself into a random corner of a wall, hoping you don't die, this doesn't strike me as logical. Now we're gonna do this level because it's my favorite. Has the best music, and it's genuinely just a very, very cool level. I have actually thought about getting a replica of this painting. I'm gonna be completely honest. I like the wet ghost ship. Now, if I had one real issue with this game, also this has a nice little fog effect. Not sure how that's gonna appear on screen. Really nice little detail there. But one thing I really dislike about this game is that it basically uses every area concept twice at least. And one level, the worst level out of all of them, Wet Dry World, is basically a test area for just testing how the mechanics of the game would actually work. And they left it in, and I just find that level incomprehensible and awkwardly designed, because it is genuinely just a test area. Also, this eel scared the pants off me when I was a kid. I think you're supposed to get him to kind of snap at you. Also, we're going to drown real quick. We need some coins. Okay. But seriously, the music to this level is so good. I know someone who actually made this their Animal Crossing theme song for their town. And that really impressed me. I always went with the opening to Secret of Mana myself, because that's a really special game to me, but this is an amazing song. Where's that coin? There it is. Now, these pillars will actually like track your movements and try and fall on top of you. So it's helpful to not let them do that. Okay, now I think it's a matter of picking the right chests in the right order. What does the sign say? Okay. Open the chest in right order. What order is that? I'll never tell. Thanks, Captain. I don't think there's actually a hint either, so you just sort of have to randomly hope you get it right. Fortunately, there's not a lot of options, so that helps. Ow. So you have full health, you can literally just brute force it. This is also the game that introduced the metal cap, which has since existed in quite a lot of things because Metal Mario be a thing. And I think it's an important thing. I like that to get the different caps, you have to go through like special quests and stuff and like secret stars. Very, very cool game. Not my favorite N64 3D platform, but very, 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 very good one. Okay, so we did Super Mario. That cleansed the palate a little. Next is Super Robot Taisen in J and in PAL. PAL might mean it's in English, or it might mean it doesn't display. So let's try the PAL version first. It's the same game. So let's see what happens. I'm trying to engage with it. It does not seem to want to, so let's try the J version. Huh. Oh, I need to press start, not A. It's been that kind of week, okay? Okay, well, we'll see what the difference is. So this is going to be the Japanese version, obviously. I don't think there's an English translation of this, but... yeah, so this is Super Robot Taisen 64 in Japanese. Let's see what the PAL version is. And if this thing can even run it, because I want to see what that's all about before we like actually try and play it for a few seconds. Although it's a strategy game, I'm not sure how good that's going to be in Japanese to begin with. Let's see, Super Robot Taisen. Press the start button this time, not A. And let's see if this is translated into anything that's playable. I'm not overly confident about it, but who knows, maybe it will be. Van presto. Well, it's displaying. This could just be like for PAL frame rates or something. But we'll try and figure out what this is. I mean, I know what it is. It's Super Robot Taisen, but, you know, we'll try and play it however this is. Okay. Uh-huh. Sure, I totally agree, screen. Can I get to the game bit now, please? Because... Okay. Looks like we can pick a team of people. These two look very angry. We'll pick these two. They seem like they're on the ball. Sure. I agree, this is his name. Are you giving me the entire story again? Because I've already seen this screen game. I just want to get to the Super Robot Taisening for about 2 seconds. Actually, to be fair, I do actually quite enjoy Super Robot Taisen on the Switch, but there's an English game that you can enjoy on the Switch, and it's actually quite good. It's got like some ridiculously deep secrets and stuff too. Like, if you do the exact specific thing on certain areas, you get certain characters earlier or period. There's a lot of like lore stuff with that too, because it's, you know, it's a strategy game that tries to mix like about 1 million different mecha properties. It's kind of like the Great Battle, which would explain why Brad Presto's handling it. So they're very conceptually similar ideas, just throw a bunch of popular properties at each other. It's just that with Great Battle, it's, you know, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, their own creation, and Gundam. Whereas this is just all mecha stuff. Actually, speaking of Ultraman, I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching this really... a long time ago, I watched this really weird, not quite Ultraman movie. And I spent some of my free time looking it up. It's a movie called Outer Man. And it was like... Ultraman had been around for about 60 years and was super, super popular. Now, like, an actual alien version of Ultraman shows up, says he's going to save the world because he's so iconic. Everyone's just like, okay, yeah, sure. And it turns out when he said save the world, he means terraform it for his own people who are dying because their planet got taken over. And the villain from Ultraman shows up to try and stop Ultraman because he's the actual hero. It was a weird parody and deconstruction of actual Ultraman, and it was not a remotely good movie, but it was kind of an enjoyably weird experience to see something like that. And I kind of want to watch it again now. Don't get squished by that. Oh, you just got squished by the thing. Oh, well, our protagonist is dead now. Oh, I guess he jumps into that building just at the last second. Classic protagonist, Chan. Oh, and now we've got a new mech. One that we just fell ass first into because... What was his name? Leon Steinbeck? Leo Steinbeck? Something like that. The kid from Zone of the Enders. That happened. And to be fair, that happened because Gundam happened. Oh, now we actually get to play. Okay. So, I want you to... So, we got 3 guys. 5 people. We're going to want to try and take them out one at a time. So, what I would probably do is go as far around this as I can. Go up here, take you out. Double back. Probably can't cross this, but double back around here to attack you. And then hopefully someone will save me because 3 on 1 does not sound pleasant. Unless this is one of those, like, escape situations. It might be one of those sort of escape situations, or one of those wait till other people... Oh, crap, they're gonna gank me. Okay, this might be a retreat type situation. So we're not using 3D polygons, we're actually using sprites. That's interesting. My mech is not particularly nice looking. Not gonna lie, I like the mech design from the Switch Super Robot Wars. This one looks a little... not good. Although when you can one-shot things, getting surrounded by those things just means that you're gonna take them out rather quickly, I guess. Okay. Well, I can apparently take you guys in fights, so I'm going to. So let's end this fight and see what happens. Yeah, I'm guessing this is only for, like, PAL frame rates. Oh, that's actually really catastrophically bad. But if this was done for PAL frame rates, I imagine this wouldn't be displaying, because that was the problem with so many other things we had to deal with. I'm guessing we need to run now. Oh, I recognize that guy! He's the guy what is voiced by someone I knew actually, like, studied under him. But that's also because Zeta was dubbed in my hometown. But there's good old Quattro, Opoli, and Roberto. I really need to watch Zeta again. That is genuinely the best, like, full-sized Gundam series right there. It's just Zeta. Even though I think a lot of people dislike kind of how it ends. I quite like Zeta. I think there are a couple other Gundam games I think are, or games, series that I think are probably a little bit better. Like, I like 8MS Team a lot. I think that's peak Gundam, but that's basically an OVA series, you know? Whereas Zeta was a full-fledged, like, 50, 59, 49 episode series. It was incredibly good. And, yeah, go watch Zeta. Zeta's super, super good. And if you watch the dub, you might actually get to hear some people I know. Sort of. I will say the non-animated suits are a little awkward. That said, I think this is probably better than... I swear there was like a Super Robot Wars fighting game on the N64 that used like completely polygonal models. And it looked really, really awkward. I think it was Super Robot Wars anyway. There was a mech fighting game that's only available in Japan on the N64 that was very awkward looking. I know there was an Evangelion game that was like that as well. Like, the polygons really don't stand up to time, typically. There are a few games that look okay, like the ones that really had a lot of polish put into them, but by and large, the polygonalness of the 90s really hasn't held up all that well. And that's coming from someone who loves the Sega Saturn. But to be fair, the best part about the Sega Saturn was, of course, the sprite-based stuff. You know, your Kyo Flying Squadrons and your Astals. Stuff like Mischief Makers holds up incredibly well on the N64. Whereas, you know, Smash Brothers looks a little bit rougher. Now, why is one of the wing Oz people piloting a Zaku? That is the wrong chunk of Gundam to be piloting that suit. You should be piloting a Leo. Also, whatever the hell this thing is, it's completely destroying the Zakus. But I mean, they're Zakus, it's in their name. I'm not even getting as much experience taking out these Zakus. I gotta fight the other people. I'm kind of surprised they're Zakus and not Hyzax, at least, what with Quattro showing up. Like, if we're gonna be borrowing from that chunk of Gundam, wouldn't it be better to have, like, everything be at least slightly more consistent? You've got pilots from the wing chunk of Gundam piloting original Gundam Zakus. While we're teaming up with people from Zeta. It's just a little bit of a mishmash of timelines. But to be fair, that's kind of the point, I guess. Okay, I think this is an attack. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what our active attacks are all about. Alright, that's another Zaku down. I might be able to just finish off this entire screen on my own. I'm not sure what those things up here are. Wherever they are, they can't move very far. Let's get these guys over here. Get these guys over here. I'm actually genuinely interested. Whoopsie, that's not what I want to do. I just want to end the turn. There we go. I want to see if Roberto and Napoli have the same colored suit as Quattro, because Quattro, of course, had a red one. And I cannot for the life of me think of the name of that suit right now. Which sucked, because it was a pretty important suit for, like, the first half of Zeta. You know, before stuff like the Hyakushiki got involved. Wasn't the Garibaldi. No, that was an Axis suit. Ah, it's gonna bug me now. Just means I gotta watch more Zeta, I guess. Okay, so let's move some people up. And I'll actually just retreat my main suit for the time being. Okay. And we'll put you here. I'm guessing you are Quattro. You seem to have more movement options than the rest. Which tells me you're an ace. Or at least arbitrarily have a better suit than the rest. So let's see. I'm not sure what that is. Oh. Okay, so there's Quattro. He's in his red suit, so we're gonna have to swap to the other one just to see if the others have black ones, because they should. I'm curious to see if they actually put in that kind of effort. It's been Presto, so it's possible, but they were kind of a budget company, as I understand. Okay, so let's move forward. That's our most powerful attack, so let's do that. Nope. Nope. We're all using red ones. That's not screen accurate, game. That's not screen accurate. It bugs me because I'm trying to go through all the names of the suits since, like, the Marasai. No, that was the thing that was kind of like the Gelgoog. I really like the Marasai. It's not the Garibaldi. What is this? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know what it is. What is it? I appreciate that camera angle, though. That felt a little bit more actiony, you know, just dashing straight at the camera. Alright. Let's get good old Quattro up here. I know that on the early models of this suit, there's a particularly sad decal that tries to spell Quattro's name and does it in the most hilariously sad way possible. Kind of makes it a weird collector's item, I guess. I don't think they ever bothered to reprint the stickers either, because, like, with the exception of the original Gundam model kit, it's not like they ever stopped putting them out. They still remake the older kits. Maybe not with, like, everyday frequency, but at the exception of the original, like, Gundam, which actually broke the mold, so they can't remake anymore. You know, they pretty much make all the suit kits, even today, even, like, the older ones, that have since been massively obsoleted because they've refined their techniques and created a more universal building system, making it easier for people to interact with these kits as well as interact with the kits themselves, creating interchangeable parts and creating a universal part system, which, you know, feels like a very, very fundamentally obvious thing that they should have done from the start. You know, like, let's just make every suit have the exact same pegs and holes on every part so that, you know, if you want to interchange bits, let them do it. But no, they really didn't get started on that until like 2010. And Gundam's been around since 79. So, you know, it took them a while. It took them a while. But now, for the most part, a lot of parts are just basically interchangeable and you can put whatever, wherever. Which is nice. And the fact that the kits are so approachable means that pretty much anyone can actually just try and enjoy Gundam kits. I mean, I do. I haven't touched one in a very long time. But, you know, even I, who can barely use his hands because they're got stupid muscle problems in them, you know, I can still build these things. In fact, I do as a bit of like a therapy for my muscles. And it's fun. It's fun to make your own Gundams and do some fun, interesting, non-canonical stuff. Okay, there. We are approaching whoever this is, who is presumably the ace of the enemy. And our main rival, I guess. Genuinely still trying to think, what is the name of this stupid suit? I've seen it so many times. Zeta's my favorite entry into the series. Why do I not know this stuff? Uh-oh. We're recreating Zeta a little too soon. Whoops. That might be an instant fail condition. These games are a little fiddly like that. But it doesn't look like it. Alright, so let's attack this guy. And since we're on trees, I assume that gives us some kind of evasion boost. Not that I see any trees on this screen. It looks like my mech is reverse gripping that sword. That's not an effective way to actually handle a sword. But, whatever. It looks like their suit and ours are based very similar on each other. We've got different head designs, but otherwise they're basically identical looking. That might be a failure condition right there. To reiterate, that was a failure condition right there. Oh well, we played some Super Robot nonsense. That wasn't bad. I think it would help if it was in English, but not bad. There might be a translation out there already. Okay. So let's see. We did Super Robot. Oh, Super Smash Bros. Alright, cool. This, I told this story during my entire Game Boy collection video. But when I was a kid, I got this poster for this game. And I always wondered what that game was. And then, of course, my poster got thrown out, so I kind of forgot about it. And it wasn't until I played Smash that I realized that was Samus. And I had always just wanted to play Metroid 2. Still have not gotten a chance to. I'd very much like to someday. But, yeah. This is how I actually kind of got introduced to Samus, sort of. Even though I'm really awful as... Actually, I'm okay as Samus, but... I don't know, I never played as Samus as a kid. I played Samus starting with, like, Melee. In the first game, I kind of stuck with Kirby because he has, like, that pile driver. And I was just all over that. Bonk. Just gonna juggle you a little bit. And this became Nintendo's biggest IP, basically. I remember the ads to this. It was funny. It was like Mario, Donkey Kong, and Pikachu, like, just, like, skipping through a flower field, and then one, like, accidentally sort of stumbles, and they just start beating the absolute hell out of each other. It was a good advertisement, and, like, it got your attention, because, like, oh, there's all these cute characters. They're friends. What is going on? Why are they killing each other? I need to know. I do appreciate that in Smash, you use your, like, directions plus a standard attack to do a special. That means even I can do it, because, you know, I can't really do button combinations or, like, intense inputs like you'd find in, like, a Street Fighter or a Mortal Kombat, you know. I was never able to throw a fireball or a fatality when I was a kid, but I could do some of the basic special attacks in Smash. Like, again, it helps I played as Kirby. I had the crazy pile driver grapple, and I had the turn to a rock button, which were basically all you needed if you played as Kirby on anything less than hard. But, you know, it was fun. It was fun, and I could enjoy it in kind of a goofy way. And I've always thought it was kind of fundamentally wrong to consider Smash a fighting game, really. It's a party game. But, you know, I get why people would consider this to be, like, their favorite fighting game or whatever. I mean, for me, it's Gotcha Force, which is, again, a very non-standard kind of fighting game. It's basically a fighting game masquerading as a third-person shooter, which, with all things being cyclical, was actually based around Gundam. Boom. But yes, I don't think Smash is really a proper fighting game, nor do I think... Well, I don't think esports in general are really something to take serious in any real capacity, but I've always found it really quizzical that people always default to playing Smash in, like, the most boringest conditions ever. Like, it's only real skill if you play on the flattest, most boringest environment with no weapons. It's like, are you really enjoying Smash if you're ignoring most of the concept? Like, if you're having fun, have fun, but if you're gonna be, like, militantly looking down on people because they're not playing the way you want, and they're the people that are actually, like, acknowledging how the game was supposed to be built, you know, I find that quizzical. I think this was always the stage everyone played as back in the day as a kid. I always liked Hyrule Temple. That was always sort of like the definitive Zelda level across all the games for me. But I think for me, my favorite level was what was it? Celadon City. I want to say it was Saffron City. Celadon City with the door that would open up and a Pokemon would jump out and probably instant kill you. I don't know what all my attacks are, so that's not true. I do. I just don't know the combinations. And of course, this game is basically a sequel to Kirby, because of course, Master Hand was spawned from the design of Wham Bam Rock from Kirby Superstar. And then later, Kirby would actually incorporate... took the wrong way. But would later reincorporate Master Hand and Crazy Hand in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, I believe? I own that one, I should know. Also, there's Luigi, who you have to unlock, so you shouldn't know that he's here yet. I have never unlocked all the characters in this game. Mainly because Ness is a pain in the ass to unlock. I've never been able to unlock Ness in this game, nor do I ever really aspire to. But I remember hearing as a kid, like, oh, you can unlock Sonic and Tails, and you can unlock Goemon from Mystical Ninja. There were so many, like, secret characters to unlock. It's like, no, there aren't. I've heard people have, like, modded those characters in on, like, some capacity, which I think is pretty cool, though. We might have to look for, like, a modded version of Smash on the 64 when we actually take a look at, like, the mod folder and stuff I'll install, just to really, as a final episode of this, take a look and see, like, how the modding capacity for this actual cartridge is. Although I know it's not great. I know that the modding capacity for this particular cartridge is a little bit weird. In my experience, like, you can get mods on here, but some of the stuff just doesn't play properly. This is my favorite level in the game. Mainly because there's just an unpredictable element, basically in the center of the stage, like right here. Oh, it's Chansey and she healed me. Cool. I'm gonna take that and smack you in the face. Ow. And then you're gonna grab that Pokeball, I'm betting. Yup, and now I gotta run. Okay. Bonk. Versus Giant DK. Truly a level worthy of the DK rap. But the idea of just combining all of Nintendo's properties into a single party game, like, this is kind of, in a sense, an evolution of Mario Party, but with more of a greater emphasis on the universality of Nintendo as a whole. And it really does make a lot of sense that this game is as popular as it is now. Just because, first of all, it's easy to get into, but there's always a character for everyone, basically. I think there's a platform down there. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, you need to do all of these if you want to unlock Ness. I'm not getting that jump. That's fine. Okay, I think I gotta... What is the grapple button in this game? That's the pose button. C to the right is jump. All the C's seem to be jump. What is grapple? That ain't it. No. Shield. Okay, so it's shield plus attack. I'm just not grappling this, and we're going to be here for an extra minute if I sit here and try, so I'll just kill myself. It's fine. I'm bad at boarding platforms. Let's go beat up a bunch of Kirby's, because it'll be funny. Versus 8 Kirby's. I think on higher difficulties you have to fight more. There's a cute little Wispy Woods in the background. And this actually, at least in early YouTube, brought a lot of issues to the video game music scene, because everyone thought this was the theme to Green Greens. It's not. It's Gourmet Race. Ow. Silly Link Hat. You're the entire reason why Kirby can transform into a bunch of different hats now. Get out of here. Woo! The fox hat looks silly. I will say, I get why people like Melee over this. Not just because it has more characters. It's a little bit less clumsy feeling. Although I'm bad at this in general, of course. Ooh, lightsaber. I always like the lightsaber. Bonk. Nope. Silly Kirby, you thought you could save yourself, but you couldn't. No miss times 7. Now fighting me in presumably gravity suit, but gravity suit's purple, not pink. I always liked this level as well. This was a cool level. First of all, it was space. It has some great lighting and a fantastic background, but of course the magma pool underneath you is actually rising. So you have to keep a constant eye on that. Oh, screen's shaking. Get out now. Ooh, I want that. Whoop. Alright, let's go. Ow. You know I'm trying to smack you with a bat right now, right? Oh. That's fine. Oh yeah. All skill. This was introduced in Mario 64. We just played that. Now I remember, I think everyone knew someone who swore that there was like some way you could just unlock Metal Mario. But it's just Mario with basically heavy gravity and a lot of defense applied. But you were basically fighting a Terminator, and that's cool. But of course, with heavy gravity implied, once you get him off the ground, it's actually pretty easy for him to just fall to his death. But of course, it's tricky getting to that point. You can't just throw your barrels up. I'm guessing that was a melee thing. Ow. I feel like the reflective purple and the silver, it really does lend for like a three-dimensional lighting sort of effect. Paper fan. Come on. There we go. And I finished on a charge, so I look really stylish. This one's actually kind of easy, because you don't have to actually know how to play. You just have to run to the right, and then run to the left. And then play a little bit of a game of Donkey Kong. And say I was good at it. I just said it was easier. Ow. I'm once again just going to blame my controller for being non-standard and therefore interacting in games in a slightly weird way. But this also was the level that introduces the polygons, which really are not seen after this game, but this is the level that introduced them. Ow. Ow. Thanks, Captain Falcon. Flee! There we go. Good enough. I finished. That's good enough for me. Let's fight 30 guys at once. I feel like the polygons could come back as like just a skin for all the characters in Smash nowadays, you know? Like, you, for the sake of equality, would have to like make a set of them for everyone, but I think the idea of making like polygons of like the newer characters would be kind of fun too. Like Polygon Bayonetta. That'd be interesting. Polygon, what is it, like half the cast from Fire Emblem at this point. Except for like any of the Fire Emblem characters I actually care about. Bonk. Oh. You got invulnerability, did you? And this thing is you can just throw these guys. Because they are like the antithesis of Metal Mario. They have basically no weight applied to them. With the exception of like Kirby and Jigglypuff, they're not that hard to get rid of. Oh, that's bad. Well, there goes my no-miss clearing. It's kind of weird that you can fight the polygons of characters you haven't unlocked yet, though. Maximum Tomato. This is how you know this is actually a Kirby game. Also, again, Wham Bam Rock. Grab this. And before there was Dark Samus, there was Polygon Samus. And there was Wireframe Samus. And there was SAX. There's a lot of things before Dark Samus. Short version of the story, I guess. Ow. Throw away. Throw away. Grab this. Smack it in the ground so it explodes. That's definitely going to kill me. Smack you with a fan just to humiliate you. Can't move while carrying stuff in this game. Bonk. Ooh, I'd like that. Thank you. And, oh, I missed Polygon Pikachu. Relax. Bonk. I can definitely see why this became such a big thing. And it absolutely deserved to be. It's very bare bones compared to, you know, Melee with its trophies and challenge mode and all that, but I can see why this would start something like this. I like the starry backgrounds. That is worthy of a quintet game. Maybe not as good as, say, Illusion of Gaia's Starry Sky background, but pretty good. It's a little hard to tell where the hitbox of that attack begins. He's gonna pick his nose. Or my nose. Someone's nose is getting picked. I'll not have this. Phew. Whoop. Get out of my way, Mickey Mouse glove. I think her corkscrew kick is probably like the most effective way to hurt Master Hand. Like, I've always felt like if you want to rack up damage, it's like the multi-hit attacks that really do it. As getting into his desperation phase. You can tell that because the background changed and his attacks are getting more aggressive. And it's obvious. That too is a big deal. Ow. There. You're dead. You silly giant hand. And we only had 3.5 more minutes to try and take him out. They give you a lot of time for him. There we go. We cleared on easy. Hooray. And then our little Samus turns into a dolly. And the room disappears. As quickly as it came. Fading into obscurity and death. And you can speed through this. And you can scan all the names. And stop just to check. If that's your whole thing. Not quite as good as Melee's, like, just shoot the names and stuff. We got Samus's helmet. You're welcome. And you can kind of see her reflection in there. That's cool. Also, we now get to fight Jigglypuff. And if we lose, then we have to beat the game entirely, all over again to unlock Jigglypuff. Truly the hardest character ever. Actually, he does have physics like Kirby, so he is a little bit tricky. And he's on a level that can instant kill you by doing that. So I can say I have lost to unlocking Jigglypuff before. But it's mainly because the Pokemon decided to rear its ugly head at the worst possible time. Still my favorite level, though. Bonk. There we go. And that's how you unlock Jigglypuff. Also, shoutouts to KK Pearl for the follow. Alright. Now, how many has that been? We might do another episode tonight. Maybe. So let's see. We did Terrible Bowling, Mario, Robot Taisen, Supercross. Yeah, we might do a second episode tonight. Since we can. But Supercross, this sounds like terrible snow stuff. And it's an EA Sports game, so we're definitely doomed. And it's probably going to get copyright claimed on my channel. Great. Continue without saving, because why would I ever want to save this crap? Oh, it's bikes. I was thinking of snowcross. Or cross country. Something. Okay, so it's a bad bike game that's not going to be as good as Excite Bike 64. Which in and of itself is kind of awkward. Okay, go! Whoa, whoa. It controls as awkwardly as that looks. Oh. Whoa, okay. Alright, let's go. Whoa. Oh! I have played better racing games on the N64, and half the library of the N64 was awkward racing games. How do I reverse? It doesn't seem to be B. It's not back on the stick, because that just makes you pop a wheelie. Whoa, okay. Going around turns is more an art than a science, it looks like. Go. Whoa. Alright. Come on. I already don't want to play any more of this. Can I do a flip? I can't do a flip. Okay. Look at all the advertising for presumably actual products you can buy that probably paid a lot of money to be in this piece of crap. lap 2. Please tell me it's a 3-lap game. Because I don't... It's a 5. Oh, God. I'm finishing this race. We're going to call this episode and start a new one. And yes, I know the next one is Superman 64. I don't care. This is actually pretty awful. And at least if I get Superman 64 out of the way, it's out of the way. There's advantages to it being done. Oh god, I don't want to play Superman 64. On the bright side, like, I think after Superman 64, that's most of, like, the really unbelievably god-awful games. It's also most of the games, but, you know. We've done Carmageddon at this point. We'll have done Superman. I have already done Starshot, so that's out of the way. Oh. Well, we are getting really close. I think there's, like, maybe 3 more pages on my cartridge. Like, I think we're on page 18 or 19, and there's, like, a 22 or 23. So we're pretty close. And then, of course, I want to do a special finale episode to do, like, all the modding stuff, just to see how compatible stuff is. Again, I don't think it's great. My experience with, like, the Zelda hacks and stuff don't seem to work by and large, but there's 1 or 2 games that I know are pretty sizable that do work, so we'll at least have something to play for that. Oh good, we finished the race. Hooray! Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so let's round out this episode for YouTube, and we'll get started on another one. So, based on these past 5 games, would I recommend this cartridge? Well, where are we? Here we are. Super Bowling 64 has some really, really awkward physics, and nothing really seems to equate to anything sensibly in the UI. Like, if you're gonna get a bowling game on the N64, get Milo's Astrolanes. That game wasn't great, but it was more of a sensible game. It kind of worked a lot better, and it was just fun, whereas Super Bowling was crap. Super Mario 64 is iconic, and for good reason. I don't think it's the best N64 3D platformer, but it's pretty good. Super Robot Taisen 64. This could stand to be in English, but it's pretty playable, I think, all things considered. Smash Bros. Is exactly what it is. It's a lot of fun, but it definitely is feeling its age as of now. And Supercross is a total waste of time. Based on these past 5 games, would I recommend it? Well, you got Mario 64 and Smash, so I think that does balance out the terribleness. So yeah, kinda. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream to know we go live, so you can see us do other stuff. We'll definitely be back tomorrow with some Mega Man, provided I get more grinding done. Oh god, I gotta get more grinding done. I want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, see everything else I do, which is a lot of stuff. Just put out a Phantasy Star 2 review. It's getting a lot of traction for something I do, which is impressive. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which in this case is suck at the 11th hour in Super Robot Taisen. But it was pretty good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Internet.